everyone, it's Tara. Welcome back to my channel, Tara Talks Books, where we talk everything bookish. So today I'm going to be doing my June wrap-up. I did end up getting to 8 books over the month of June, which is more than I normally get to. So I'm very excited to share with you what I read during the month of June. The first book I read is the ROM Commerce by Catherine Center. It's a contemporary romance. I did end up giving this one a 5-star. This follows Emma, and she has dreamed of being a screenwriter her entire life. However, she is also a full-time caretaker for her dad. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity comes along for her to rewrite a rom-com script for a famous screenwriter. Not any screenwriter, but Charlie Yates, a screenwriter she has idolized for years. Emma soon realizes it might be too good to be true, and Charlie doesn't want help with the rewrite of his awful script. But he has a change of heart, and their journey begins. This is such a feel-good story with both emotional and lighthearted moments. I really enjoyed this peek into the world of screenwriting. Emma and Charlie perfectly complemented each other in an opposites kind of way, and I really enjoyed their banter. So this would be considered like a clean, I guess, in the spice department. I loved, there's a line dancing scene. I truly loved there's a guinea pig. There's this diving board scene and bathroom scene that follows that is very just intense and beautifully written. I just loved it. The tropes in this one are grumpy sunshine, workplace. There are some trigger warnings in this one for death of a parent, cancer, divorce, parent with illness. So there's a lot that goes on in this book. It is a very emotional book. However, it is just so lovely. The next book I read is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is a fantasy romance. This is the second book in the Empyrean series. This follows Violet and Xaden and the events from book 1. Overall, I enjoyed this book. So many things were revealed, and it wasn't what I was thinking at the end of book 1. Definitely the throne scene was fire. I love the friend group. I love the friend group so much in this. And of course, the dragons, their personalities are always so much fun to hear from. That ending was everything as far as cliffhangers go, and I can't wait to go to the third one. The next one I read because of the Thrills and Chills book club. This was their pick for the month of June, and that one is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. This is a mystery thriller. I ended up giving this one a 4-star. This follows Emma Davis, and 15 years ago she was at summer camp and she saw her bunkmates leave in the middle of the night and they never returned. Now she is an artist, but they are reopening the camp, and they have asked her to return as a painting counselor. She ends up going. She sees this as an opportunity to find closure. She begins to investigate, and then history kind of starts to repeat itself, and 3 girls go missing again. I definitely thought this was a good mystery thriller, and I didn't expect that ending. I did enjoy this overall, and I would definitely read more from Riley Sager. This is my second book by him, and I've enjoyed it. The next one I have is A Scoundrel of Her Own by Stacey Reed. It is a historical romance. It is the third one in the Sinful Wallflowers series, but I feel like these could probably be read as standalones. This follows Lady Ophelia, and she exists in 2 worlds. She's the daughter of a powerful marquess, but she's also a songstress in the underworld. She's protected by the notorious wealthy scoundrel Devlin Byrne. She finds out her father's darkest secret and begins to investigate it, but she must rely on Devlin for help. Devlin has wealth but remains at the fringes or at the edge of society because obviously his birth status. And so it kind of goes from there. I enjoyed Ophelia and Devlin's relationship. The beginning part is adorable and heartwarming, where they are actually, he saves her from a carriage accident where they get swept down the river, and he ends up going to a cabin because they get lost in the wilderness, and they create this friendship there while they're waiting to be basically rescued for someone to find them. And I really enjoyed that aspect of the book. That was a unique part of a historical romance. I definitely enjoyed that Devlin just does so much to even be in the same like spaces as Ophelia, because obviously this is class difference, so he wasn't accepted into society. I enjoyed the side plot in this one too, and I feel like Devlin and Ophelia, they have so much chemistry and love for each other, and it's just beautiful. This is definitely another wonderful Stacey Reid book. The next one I have is Serpentine Valentine by Gianna Darling. This is a dark romance. I did end up giving this one like a 4-star. This is a dark academia sapphic romance, like Medusa retelling. This follows Lex, and she's a college student who is sexually assaulted by her professor when she confronts him, and then she goes to the president of the college for help. At the school, she is accused of being a liar, and they basically cover it up. So of course, when they cover it up, it obviously affects her. The school and like everybody in the staff and the students, of course, makes up rumors about her. And when she comes back, and she's actually out for justice. So to end up getting revenge on the president who covered up the assault, she ends up kind of going after her daughter, and it goes from there. I did enjoy this revenge story. I loved Lex's strength in like a horrible situation, and also how she ended up having a support system through her sisters. I love the eventual coming together of women on campus to try and make it safer. I liked Lux, who is the president's daughter, discovering like who she is, or who like her sexuality in this book, because at the beginning she is actually in a relationship with a man, and obviously this is a sapphic romance. She's kind of like discovering who she is. The love, I think, was a little like insta-lovey, so that's kind of why I gave it a 4-star versus a 5. I ended up dropping it down. But I did feel like the professor like got his like revenge or his comeuppance in the end. However, I didn't think that the president really got what she deserved for basically covering up years of sexual assaults by this professor. So that was definitely also another reason why I ended up changing it from a 5 to a 4, because I felt like she just needed more for that. Obviously there are triggers in this one: rape, sexual assault, violence against women in this one, victim blaming. There's a lot of that in this book, so if that's something you can't handle, then I definitely would steer clear of it. However, if those are things that you can handle reading, this is an excellent revenge/dark romance. The next one I read is Accidentally Compromising the Duke by Stacey Reid. This is another historical romance, and I did end up giving this one a 5-star. So this follows Adeline, and she's determined to escape an unwanted marriage to a horrible earl. She puts herself in a position to be ruined by a more suitable yet less influential man that she believes she wants to marry. However, she goes into the room of the wrong man, is ruined by the Mad Duke. At least that's what society calls him. Edmund is the Duke of Wolverton. He's looking for someone who he's like not attracted to. He just wants somebody who is going to care for his children and kind of like play the part in society. However, that is not the case, because the woman who the mystery woman who's in his room, who ends up being Adeline, ends up trapping him into marriage, obviously by accident. He is obviously very attracted to her. Really just doesn't want someone to care for again, because he never wants to suffer the loss of a loved one again. Really loved the chemistry between Adeline and Edmund. I also enjoyed seeing the relationship grow between Adeline and the girls, and how she kind of helps bridge the distance that like happened between Edmund and the girls when he was grieving the loss of his first wife. You could tell that Edmund did not feel he deserved like happiness because of the guilt he felt at the death of his first wife. And so that really comes across on the page. I really did enjoy this book as far as like the romance goes. It was lovely. There's just so much chemistry between the characters. This obviously does have tropes of marriage of convenience as well as like a torture hero. The next one I read is This Spells Love by Kate Robb. This is like a contemporary romance. with maybe like a little bit of magical realism or super light fantasy. This I ended up giving a 4-star. This follows Gemma, and she gets dumped by her long-term boyfriend. And to erase her ex from like her past, she and her sister and her kind of like kooky aunt cast a spell. So they follow the steps, and when she wakes up the next day, she's like in an alternate reality where her ex isn't in her life, but like neither is her best friend Dax. To get the spell reversed, she must get her best friend, now stranger, Dax, to kiss her, but she's falling for him and may not want to go back to the reality where they are just friends. So this is obviously an adorable friends to lovers romance with a bit of a magical twist. I really did enjoy this one. I thought it was cute, and I know this is like a debut book for this author, so I can't wait to read more. And last but not least is A Reckless Match by Kate Bateman, another historical romance. I have been into them lately. They're all I want to read, apparently. So I did end up giving this one a 4-star. This is the first book in the Ruthless Rivals series. The Davies and Montgomery families have been in an ancient feud for what seems like forever. Each year, a representative from the family is sent to meet on their like shared land. There's like a bridge there that they have to meet. If only one family shows up, then they forfeit their land to the other. So this has been going on for many, many years. And on this particular meetup, Maddie and Griff meet up as the representatives for their families, and it goes from there. I really enjoyed this book. It was so good. I loved how adventure-filled it was, especially when they went to go and explore the mines together. I love that both like Griff and Maddie, they have known each other since kids, because obviously their lands are like adjoining, so obviously they would know each other, and they have been like almost like secret pining for each other, or have like secret crushes for each other, but they act like they hate each other because of the feud that the families have. The banter between them is so fun too. I really enjoyed this one. It is tropes. I would say a little bit of hate to love, but it very is minimal, because you just know that they've kind of been crushing on each other for years, but they don't want to admit it because of the feud between the families. There is some forced proximity in it as well, because they do end up going on like adventures together within their shared land, because they find something is happening and kind of have to figure out like what is going on. And so I really just loved it. It was a lot of fun to read. So those are all the books that I read during the month of June. Let me know if you've read any in the comments below. If you don't feel like commenting anything, go ahead and leave a dress emoji for all the historical romances that I read during this month. Like and subscribe if you'd like to. Bye!